Welcome back here to the video. Today we are recapping week 1 of the NFL season. All kinds of takeaways, things to talk about, Rodgers injury, Browns winning big, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to jump right into it, but before I do, if you go on to enjoy today's video, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I am just about 10 away from 500 subscribers, so thank you guys for all the support. I do really appreciate it. I do Madden and NFL videos. But into the first game, we are going to talk about this, the Lions and the Chiefs. Now, I'm pretty happy with myself. I did pick this Lions upset. I've seen people kind of say, like, oh, they didn't have Kelsey. It doesn't really count. Like, look, it wasn't the full-strength Chiefs. And, yes, Mahomes receivers did sell him very badly. But you have to give credit to some degree for the Lions to open up the season against the Chiefs in Arrowhead after they are the defending Super Bowl champions and win. Like, come on. You got to give them some credit there. So, great game by the Lions. Loved a lot of the things I saw, even from Goff, from Jahmyr Gibbs. The Lions didn't really play the best overall game, but they still won. Honestly, it's a sign of a good team when you can beat another really good team and not playing your best. So, to start the season, great things from the Lions. As far as the Chiefs go, the receivers got to step up. I mean, Mahomes, he was getting frustrated. You could tell. And even in the future, you can't rely on Kelsey. He can't do everything. He's not going to be around forever, and you have to catch the wide open passes. Tony, Sky Moore, I mean, it was rough for sure. So we'll see where the Chiefs go from here. But again, a lot of nice things from the Lions. Lions get the win. Panthers and Falcons, I have to feel to some degree the Panthers really just gave this game away with turnovers, with fumbles. But again, Bryce Young's a great quarterback. He's a rookie. It's going to happen. It's just kind of accepted. Or not accepted, expected. But I think he will learn from those things. He's a very smart quarterback. And it is definitely tough. But pay Brian Burns. Not sure why they're not doing it. It really doesn't make any sense to me. He went out and had a great game. Falcons-wise, though, again, Desmond Ridder didn't blow me away. At least not yet. That's something that I've said all offseason held me back from predicting the Falcons having a bigger season was Desmond Ridder. Didn't see a whole lot from him, but the offense is good. So if Ridder can show out, the offense is very good. Bijan Robinson looked very good. Algier looked great too, so there's that. It does a little bit beg the question why they got Bijan when Algier is that good, but honestly, having both, you can kind of prolong both careers by not kind of, running either one into the ground. So it'll work out fine, but again, Algier is still a great running back. Drake London, I don't think, did a whole lot this game. Kyle Pitts did okay, that big second catch he had. But, yeah, so pretty good game there. Divisional game. We'll see where both teams go from there. Bengals and Browns. Now, this is one that I picked the Bengals, but this was one I was pretty unsure about because Burrow doesn't have a good record against the Browns, and the Browns have had a pretty good record against the Bengals in recent history. Again, though, it wasn't really the best game, and I'm going to say about kind of all the games this weekend. Like, there was a lot of sloppy football. This wasn't, like, the best weekend for football. I mean, it was exciting. It's back. Don't get me wrong. But, like, the quality of offense for some of these games was not super high quality. The Bengals are absolutely no exception to that. They played incredibly bad. I think Burrow did say that. I think it's pretty obvious. It doesn't take an expert kind of analysis on that to realize, yeah, the Bengals played pretty bad. But the Browns did play really good. Their offense did okay. I'm not going to give them a whole lot of credit on offense because, honestly, the Bengals just play so bad. Like, the Browns did look good on offense. Nick Chubb is just still Nick Chubb. Deshaun Watson looked better than last season, which is good. He didn't look great, but he looked better than last season, so that's definitely good. Elijah Moore got involved. Amari Cooper, I think, hurt his leg, but I think he came back in. I could be wrong. I'm not sure where the injury stands. But, yeah. Browns offense, I'm not going to give a ton of credit to because the Bengals did play so bad, and they didn't look great themselves. But the Browns defense, they looked very, very good, and that was cool to see because that was going to be one of the most improved defenses this year, and it looks like they may be because, yes, the Bengals played bad, and yes, the weather was awful, but the Browns defense still did a lot of things well, so ton of credit to them. That was a great game. Bengals, don't hit the panic button. It started slow last year, too. Burrow's been hurt. It'll get better. And Browns, honestly, hopefully you can stay on that hot streak because you're in a very tough division. You need to be able to win those games. Next is the Jaguars and the Colts. Now, this is actually a very exciting game to me because I honestly expected the Jaguars to win this one a lot bigger than what they did. And the Colts actually looked a lot better than I thought they would because Richardson looked pretty comfortable, all things considered. He's a very raw prospect. And it was a lot of questions about how he would perform this year, but hey, he had a great, honestly, just a great game on the ground, 40 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. He had a passing touchdown, like over 220 yards passing. Only thing, got to slide. He's taken a lot of hits early on. I think Lawrence even told him that after the game to make sure to slide because hits add up in this league. And good on Lawrence to tell him that, because some rookies just don't know that. And it's very true because those hits add up for sure. But honestly, Richardson, great first showing. Hopefully he can build on it. And I want to see where the Colts go from there as far as that goes, because that was a very exciting game to watch. Jaguars. Calvin Ridley is Calvin Ridley. Like, he's looking about how everybody thought he was going to look. I'm really excited to see him continue to perform. I want to see Christian Kirk more involved, though. Like, don't just not get the ball to Christian Kirk because Ridley's good, you know? Like, Kirk's a great receiver, and he was kind of held in check a little bit. But I'm sure, you know, plenty of season left. I'm sure that will change. Lawrence played pretty well. Etienne and Bigsby is a really nice running back duo, so that's really good, too. But, again, very exciting game. I like that game a lot. This game was a surprise on several fronts. So first, you have the Vikings offense. In the first half, Justin Jefferson looked absolutely like Justin Jefferson. Second half, he only had about 12 receiving yards. 138 in the first half, 12 in the second half. Not sure what happened, honestly. I guess the Vikings offense just kind of slowed up. Kirk threw for a bunch of yards, but the interception on there was a very costly one in the red zone. So that's definitely tough. But hey, Baker Mayfield, though, he actually played pretty well. I know the Vikings defense isn't the best by any means, although they did actually look pretty decent with that Brian Flores kind of coaching there. But Baker looked good. He was careful with the ball. He threw on target, so happy for Baker. Big win for the Buccaneers, winning that game. That's a big win, a big loss for the Vikings. But again, their division did not perform the best, so it didn't end up costing them too much. But still, you got to win those games and get that turnaround pretty quick. But yeah, biggest takeaway for me is Baker Mayfield looking not promising, but looking confident. And that's what you need from Baker Mayfield. Confident Baker Mayfield's a pretty good quarterback. Not confident Baker Mayfield is a very bad quarterback. So hopefully that can continue to stay the same for the Buccaneers. But all in all, very surprising game. Disappointing for Vikings fans, but I'm sure it'll get better from there. Titans and Saints. This is one that was honestly incredibly boring. I'm not going to lie. I was not really into this game. I was really just kind of watching to see how Hopkins was used and what Derek Carr looked like in the Saints offense. And honestly, neither one were particularly exciting to me. But Carr actually played well. 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's pretty good. Olave, very involved. That's what I want to see, because not as a Panthers fan, but as a football fan, Olave's that's what I want to see. He's a great receiver, very involved. Good way to start the season for him. Saints offense looking pretty good. You don't even have Kamara back yet, so that's very nice. Overall, though, low-scoring game, pretty sloppy game all around, kind of typical Week 1 stuff. So we'll see where both teams go from there. Again, 1 week, especially the first week, does not decide an entire season. So for the Saints and Titans especially, it's a very slow game. I'm sure both offenses will pick up. But the highlights, Derek Carr looked pretty good with 35 passing yards, 1 touchdown. So we'll see what happens from there. And then the 49ers and the Steelers. And wow, this was eye-opening. Let's start with the 49ers. 49ers looked like how they were supposed to look. Brock Purdy looked sharp. McCaffrey, 22 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, 8 receptions, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, the 49ers offense, really, really good. No surprises there. I mean, I think everybody kind of had them top of the offensive rankings going into this season. I mean, they're just really, really good. And the defense, again, a top defense in the league, showed that. Kenny Pickett really struggled. The Steelers offense really struggled. And it sucks to see that, because he was kind of such like a promising offseason. He really improved, not only just in the offseason, but over the course of last year. He had a good preseason, looked pretty accurate then. And this is a tough one, 30-7. But, you know, the 49ers have a very good defense. So I'm sure you will play easier defenses. But Kenny Pickett against a top-tier defense struggled. You know, 232 yards, you know, finished fine in yardage, but 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and the 1 touchdown, you know, it's 1 touchdown. It's the only score of the game. So not ideal, but it can definitely get better from there. I think it will, because Kenny Pickett has looked like he's improved too much to just flop like this and not get any better. So do not give up. Don't overreact. It's only Week 1. Don't overreact to anything. But, yeah, not a great showing from the Steelers there. 49ers, though, as expected. Commanders and Cardinals, good game, but I would say not really as expected from the Cardinals. Like, they actually competed, and I thought Washington would blow them away more than what they did, but they did not. So, I guess a little worrisome both ways. Like, why are the Cardinals somewhat competitive, and why are the Commanders not blowing them out? But, again, this is Week 1, and it was a sloppy game. I think just kind of slow moving more than anything else. But Sam Howell, he looked pretty good. I want him to look a bit better, but again, it's just week one. Plenty of time to improve there. And yeah, overall, Cardinals defense looking really good under Jonathan Gannon. So that's promising, of course. But Cardinals offense, it's going to catch up to them when they play better teams. Although they did almost pull it off week one. So that's good for them, I guess. But Josh Dobbs at quarterback every week is not going to get it done for you. Hopefully the Commanders get better from here. And the Cardinals, I think this is the start of a very long season. Texans and Ravens, this is one that also, like, pretty sloppy. Like, both sides. Like, the Ravens could have won by a lot more points. The Texans, honestly, didn't look horrible considering how good the Ravens defense was. Stroud, 242 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions, and that surprised me. I figured that he would have forced a pass in this game to a very good Ravens defense, and he didn't. So good on CJ Stroud. Honestly, I think that's pretty surprising, so good for him. Hopefully he can continue to take care of the ball. Big takeaway, J.K. Dobbins out for the year with an Achilles injury. And that's just brutal. And somehow it's not the most brutal Achilles injury we're going to be talking about in this video, but still very brutal to the Ravens. And especially Dobbins, you know, injury after injury, it seems like he's so good his rookie year and then just can't get back to that form. Very disappointing. Ravens, though, injuries are already starting to pile up somehow. Mark Andrews is hurt. Dobbins is hurt. One of their corners was banged up, I believe. And I think their center is also with a rolled ankle. So I'm not sure what it is year after year, but hopefully they can get healthy. No one wants to see that. But Ravens, they do win by 16 points in a pretty average first week showing. I think they can definitely be a lot better than that. But I think as a better opponent, they will kind of rise to the challenge. Packers and Bears, this was big. Like, I thought the Bears would win this in a fairly close one, and I was completely wrong. The Bears lost this, and it wasn't really a close one. Jordan Love looked legit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go jump into conclusions because again, it is just week one. But he looked really, really good. 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's how I thought he would look, but not in week one, basically. So very promising from the Packers and the Bears. I get it. It's week one. It's sloppy, but you're expected to take a jump, or maybe not even a jump, just show something different, and you didn't really. Like, the offense still kind of struggled, couldn't move the ball very well, didn't really use DJ Moore. But again, it's week one. I'm not going to overreact, but Packers, Bears takeaways. Jordan Love played very well. Packers played very well. Bears, you got to get it going, because if this season ends with DJ Moore on the team and Justin Fields is still struggling to move the ball, they're not that I'm going to be participating in them, but there are going to be conversations that are going to be had about Justin Fields and the Bears. But again, it's 1 week. It's the first week, so just keep that in mind. Raiders and Broncos. So I did pick the Raiders to win this game, I'm pretty sure, and they win by 1 point. This is a pretty defensive game, but Garoppolo, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 reception. I feel like it's a pretty average showing for Garoppolo, but again, it got the job done. So it got the job done. Jacoby Myers, 9 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very nice from him. I'm not sure that'll be like a weekly thing. Well, obviously not that a weekly thing, but not sure if he'll be close to 100 yards fairly consistently this year. But if he is, that's going to be a huge help to the Raiders offense. Though the Broncos lost, Russell Wilson looked better, to me at least. I think he looks a lot better than he did last year. More confident, more comfortable. So we'll see where the Broncos go from there. But Raiders get the win. I'm not going to have too many takeaways from that game, to be honest. But it is what it is there. Eagles and Patriots. Now, these are some takeaways. Mac Jones, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. This game started 16-0. Mac Jones threw a pick 6. And Zeke fumbled the ball away, and I was like, wow, this Patriots offense is the exact same, and Mac Jones is the problem. I'm just kidding. I didn't jump to conclusions like that, at least that much. But I was thinking, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking, like, there is no way Mac is still going to perform like this. And you know what? There was no way. He bounced back. 316 yards, 3 touchdowns after that 1 interception. So very good on Mac Jones. You lose, but look, it's a really good team. And I started this, the AFC East prediction video. I said the Patriots have a very brutal schedule, one of the hardest in the NFL. So if you start out flat, it's going to be very hard to get going because there are no easy teams on this schedule for them. And honestly, I wouldn't count that as starting flat. The offense looked much, much better than last year. Defense is still quite good. You kind of slowed the Eagles' offense down pretty well. So I think it's honestly a great showing for the Patriots. You got to get a win, obviously, but still, great showing from them. Eagles, it's a great Patriots defense, so I'm not going to really criticize them too much there. Jalen Carter, though, looked pretty good for the Eagles defense. I believe he had a sack as well, with like a couple tackles for loss maybe. Can't totally remember because I have so many stats going on in my head, but Jalen Carter had a pretty good game for them. So Eagles win by 5 in that one. Mac Jones needs to continue looking like that because that is rookie year Mac Jones because he looked pretty good then. Dolphins and Chargers, though. This was my favorite game of the week. Very exciting. Tua to Tyreek, just down the field. It's just really exciting football. 466 yards for Tua, 3 touchdowns, 1 reception. Eckler, 16 carries, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, man. There's not a whole lot to talk about there. Tyreek Hill is just so good at football. That's really all there is to it. As far as everything else goes, though, Chargers offense, I think, looked pretty good. They just didn't come with the win in this one, but it was a shootout. It kind of is what it is. I think both teams looked pretty good, and it was just kind of last to score wins, and the Dolphins were last to score. So, that's just kind of they came out on top, but no hate to the Chargers. I think they played a pretty good game. They really got to Herbert in the last couple plays there to kind of seal up the win, but overall, I think it was a really fun game, and excited to see what both teams do next week. Surprise of the week to me is the Rams over the Seahawks, even more so than the Buccaneers, because the Seahawks I thought would look very good, and the Rams looked very bad, and the Rams looked pretty good, and the Seahawks looked very flat, honestly. Stafford, though, 334 yards, pretty good, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Walker looked pretty good. Tutu Atwell, 6 receptions, 119 yards. Not pictured, though, is Puka Nakua, I believe is how you say his name, with like 120 receiving yards in his pro debut, so great by that Rams receiver. And you get the win, 30-13. Really, really nice showing. Not really sure where either team goes from here, to be honest, because, Seahawks I thought would be a lot hotter to start the year, and I figured the Rams would just be kind of flat. So I'm not sure if the Rams fall off after this and the Seahawks go up, or if this is like a tone setter. Again, it doesn't define a team's whole season, but Seahawks need to bounce back next week for sure against the Lions in Detroit. Won't be easy. Making my picks tomorrow, by the way, but again, we'll see what happens there. And then Sunday Night Football happened. 42-0 Cowboys over Giants. I'm not going to lie, I have nothing to say about this game, except Giants, don't do that again. I think is pretty good advice, because whatever you just did, do the exact opposite from now on, and you'll look really good the rest of the season. And Cowboys, keep doing that. That's really all my takeaways, because seriously, the Giants gave me nothing to go off of. I don't know what I'm supposed to do for that. Cowboys look great. The highlight for me, Tony Pollard looked very good, but also Stephon Gilmore, someone that I talked about all offseason, one of the biggest moves because he's still a great player. Had an interception, pass defended, a couple tackles. He looked great. I think he's a very high-graded corner by PFF this week as well. So really good stuff from the Cowboys defense, looking absolutely dominant in week 1. Giants, the one thing I'll say, why is Daniel Jones in the game at the end, getting hit? That's ridiculous. If you're down 40-0 and you're still running the ball to him, take him out of the game. It's just so stupid. It's how people get hurt. And then, speaking of people getting hurt, we'll go to Monday night. So, Jets win by 6 against the Bills, and Aaron Rodgers on the 5th play. It was 75 seconds, for those of you guys that are wondering. 75 seconds. He gets hurt, goes down, and it's so surreal, too, because there's so much hype, not only in the offseason, but even tonight. He runs out the flag. The stadium is pumping. Or bumping, I don't know what I just said, but either way, he runs out there, and then on the 5th play, he goes down, and the thing is, he got back up, too, so he was kind of limping, but got back up. It's kind of oh, okay, he might be banged up on the play, and he goes back down, and he sits down. It's all of a sudden kind of setting in that, Aaron Rodgers just got hurt on the 5th play of the game after all this, and even then, it's okay, he's going to the medical tent, maybe he'll be fine, maybe he's questionable, and then you see the cart get brought out. I cannot even express how immensely disappointed I was. And I tried not to let it ruin this game for me, but it really did, because I feel like that was just what everyone had been waiting for. Just even the average football fan to see him on the Jets, and it's taken away like that. And not only tonight, but the rest of the season, as it was confirmed this morning, ruptured Achilles for Aaron Rodgers. He'll be back next year. We'll talk more on that in a second. I want to talk about the Bills first. But Josh Allen lost this game. I'm just going to say it straight up. You gave the ball away 3 times in the air, and then you fumble at the end of the game. Josh Allen said himself, by the way, don't come at me. He said himself that he lost in the game, so I don't want to hear it. But, yeah, Diggs looked good. 10 receptions, 102 yards, touchdown, standard Stephon Diggs stuff. But Josh Allen, what are you doing, man? I'm not sure if you guys watch the, Manning cast, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning kind of, going, like, talking about the game as it's going on, basically. And Peyton said Josh Allen before the game told me I'm not going to throw an interception. Like, he lied to me, kind of like laughed about it. But, like, I mean, if that's a focus for you and you still get the ball away 3 times, like, you got to work on your decisions. Like, especially a couple of them were just questionable. Like, you just bomb the ball down the field. It's like as you're being sacked almost. I don't get it. I'm not sure what Josh Allen was doing there. That's not Josh Allen. He's a much better quarterback than what he's been showing. But I believe they said since the opening game last year to now, Josh Allen has thrown 20 interceptions. Like, for as good as you are, you can't give the ball away that much. You're just giving the other team opportunities. It's ridiculous. That's all it is, honestly. So Josh Allen, you got to clean that up. He knows it, So hopefully that gets better. But let's go. Before we get to Rodgers, let's talk about the Jets night without Rodgers. Zach Wilson comes in. I gotta say, I could not have felt worse for Zach Wilson. You already know everybody hates you. You gotta come in now after Rodgers gets hurt. But they won the game, and honestly, Zach Wilson looked better than last year, which is good. He gave the ball away once on a horrible read, but other than that, he was careful with it. He didn't throw the ball up in the air when he was getting sacked or anything stupid. He took care of the ball fairly well, and honestly, led them down the field with a couple passes, and then threw a touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson, who had an amazing catch. So, I mean, he did his job. Where you go from here, though, is what I'm going to talk about now, because I got to spend some more time on this game. So if you don't care for this game, I guess that's it for the video. You can just kind of move on with your day, I guess. But if you want to hear about this, the Jets from here have to bring in someone else. And it seems like they're already, actually, no, it's been confirmed. They're already reaching out to veteran quarterbacks. I'll check my phone just in case they happen to sign someone and no. But Kaepernick's agents, Colin Kaepernick, if you guys remember him, his agents have reached out to the Jets for a possible chance. Other than him, Carson Wentz is available. Matt Ryan's available. I guess you could try and trade for, like, Stafford maybe. Cam Newton's available. But, like, it's not a long list of guys that are going to put the Jets in a position to possibly win the Super Bowl, which is just... I mean, it's brutal. I don't think I've ever seen an injury derail a season so fast that had so much hype around it so quickly into the season. Like, literally 75 seconds. In 75 seconds, this team went from Super Bowl, contender to, like, what do they do now? Which is just, so brutal, so disappointing. I'm not sure if Rodgers retires after this. His plan was to play, for multiple years, but Achilles injuries are no joke. They're tough to come back from, especially someone at his age. So I don't know. We'll see where they go from here. We have to have the surgery done to have a clear kind of cut rehab and everything as far as that goes. So hoping Rodgers can come back healthy next year, but just huge damper on the season already. Just injuries suck, man. So it is what it is there, but where do the Jets go from here is a big question. I think they said they're comfortable starting Zach Wilson, but obviously they want to reach out to their veteran quarterback to at least just bring in. So we'll see what happens. I'd love Cam Newton on there, but I know he's not very well liked, so I doubt that'll happen. My best guess would be Carson Wentz, because I guess he's kind of the most recent that's played, and Carson Wentz is bad, but he's good enough, so we'll see what happens there. But that is going to do it for the Week 1 recap and takeaways video. Guys, tomorrow is my Week 2 picks video, so be on the lookout for that. I do Madden and NFL videos, though, so if that sounds interesting to you guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Madden videos are back. Well, I guess they're not back. I did one yesterday. The next one will be Thursday, and then just kind of as it goes from there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment down below how your favorite team did, your takeaways from this week, anything like that. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.